All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. Got a special guest on here, friend of mine. We go back quite a bit now, I would say, but we got Bridges Gibbs on here. He's somebody who's I've worked with in the capacity of an educator and a coach. We've coached on the same staff before. I mean, he used to dunk on kids all the time back in high school. He's recently started like this content creation in the fitness world, and the biggest reason I've really brought him on was he just hit a really, really cool life goal, bench check mark type thing to where you've consistently been running and working out for 500 days straight, correct?
Yeah, 500 days. Good little milestone.
Dude, that is an awesome milestone because I think when you hear something like that, I was literally thinking about this today. I was like, have I done anything 500 days straight other than like eat and sleep? I was really thinking, I'm like, is there anything outside of like the normal life sustaining things that's like, have I done that for 500 days straight? And I've done stuff consistently. I think, whether it's the writing and the different elements, going like, studying, college, reading, like there's certain things where I've done a lot, but to do something that's probably kind of difficult, kind of challenging outside of like what I want to do every single day, dude, that's impressive.
Thank you, man. That's kind of why I did it. I was the same way. I couldn't think of anything that I really ever, pursued that greatly. Other than maybe sitting on the couch and doing nothing. That was about it.
Yeah.
So
That can be nice sometimes though, but at some point it gets a little, it catches up to you a little bit.
Absolutely does. Yep, it does.
All right, man, to jump off this episode, I like to do these two questions just to start everything off, just because I think it opens up. I think it kind of takes down some walls, and I think it's given like the most highest leverage questions with the most bang for your buck for anybody that might watch if they watch, right? But one of the two questions is, what is the biggest piece of advice you've ever received?
Biggest piece of advice. So I was talking with my uncle not too long ago.
Okay.
And he gave me a book suggestion. And so while it's not necessarily advice from him, it was a book suggestion from him
Okay.
that I got the advice from. So I guess technically he did give this advice to me. But it was to dare greatly, to go, like to try something, to really go and put your all into something, to dare greatly. And I really think I'm trying that. So
All right,
greatly.
that's on my reading list now because I think I've seen it. I don't even know who the author would be on it, but I know I've seen it before. I think I can even think of the cover on it. But okay, I'm gonna write that down. Okay, awesome. And like, what was your biggest takeaway from the book? Did you get through it pretty quick? Was it one you couldn't put down? Was it one you have to study? Like, what was your takeaway?
I'm actually still reading it.
Okay.
And reading it almost every night. I'm really enjoying it. And it's brought me a lot of more self-awareness and a little bit of confidence as well. So
I got
it's a
you.
good book, worth the read.
All right, man. It's on the list. Okay, biggest regret, and like I said, don't ever like anybody want to get too deep that they feel comfortable. They don't feel comfortable. Like, what's the biggest regret you think you've had?
Biggest regret probably is not doing things. Not doing things.
Yeah.
Not trying in life. I spent probably the last 6 years before I really kind of got my life back on track. When I knew you, actually, and like when we worked together,
Yeah.
I was in that just not trying to be great at anything.
Okay.
I was just very okay with being mediocre. And that's probably my biggest regret, is not utilizing my
That's
talents.
interesting. Yeah, and I'm 100% with you on that. And there's some elements of this I wanted to talk about later, but and to a part of it, I remember, coaching with you, and you were probably, and I still think you are probably the chillest dude. They're like one of the most chill dudes. Like, you don't get worked up for. I mean, it's not. You think you have a really calm demeanor, and I think that actually helped our athletes a lot when we were coaching them, because we worked with some very talented, head coach and assistant coaches, and we're kind of low on that coaching totem pole. But we had a role to play with kids and building those relationships and working with the underclassmen a lot, right? But it seemed like when the stress gets high and the players are getting through it and they're having bad days and the coaches are tough on them, like, I felt like you always had a really like just calming sense, like, you're gonna put your arm around them, start talking to them, kind of get them to relax a little bit, and then get back on the court. I always thought that was still a strength of yours, of just how chill you were with the guys. Like, so I do think like there's an element of that demeanor was maybe, I think it benefited some kids though at some point. I do remember that about playing with you on that. But like I said, 500 days, I guess that's coming up on what, a year and a half? Where's my
About a
math
year and a
at?
half.
Okay, I was like, my brain went on that. So kind of jumping into, the 500 days ago, like what was happening in your mind? I think you're kind of alluding to it a little bit. What was it like happening in your mind in your life that you think something had to change? Like what was like the last like, all right, we're going. I guess I don't know if you're doing stuff maybe inconsistently before that, like run a little bit, work out a little bit, and then chill out for a couple of weeks. I don't know what it was before the 500 days, but what was in like the last like straw where it's like, all right, we're rolling.
Yeah, so the 500-day streak really, it just started really for no reason other that I just wanted to try it more than
Okay.
anything. Because really, I actually text you the day that everything changed for me.
Okay. I think I
And
remember this.
yeah, you gave me some good advice. You offered me a book suggestion as well, Atomic
Yeah.
Habits, which
Oh
was
yeah.
incredible for me. I listened to it that day, not all of it, but I started listening to it that day.
I got you.
But yeah, so really 500 days, nothing was really much different than what it is right now. I just have a streak going now.
Hmm.
It was really probably, excuse me, probably 700, 800 days ago where things
Okay.
actually did need to
Okay.
change. But what was going through my mind? I just knew I was not in a good place. I wasn't happy with where I was. I wasn't really pushing myself. I was
Hmm.
seeking comfort. That's really all I did. I would go to work, do the bare minimum, come home, and sit in a recliner. And I would
Hmm.
watch TV. I set up my whole environment to be as comfortable as possible. I had
Hmm.
a little mini fridge right beside my recliner, filled with the best beer that I could find.
Yeah.
When I would go out to the Fresh and get a little custom
Yeah.
6 pack, I'd go every
I
week
got
get a
you.
cool one of those and drink a beer or six every night. And
Hmm.
I had I had my laptop set up. I had like 12 HDMI cords running all around the room, so I never have to get up. I had the like every console that I had all the controllers plugged in right beside my recliner, so I never even had to reach for a controller. Literally everything about my life was comfort. And I don't want to get too far and answer all your
No, you're
questions
good,
in
dude. No, we'll
question
roll
one,
through it, man. You're good.
but so with that, it just became every little added comfort. It brought me just a little bit of marginal joy that I didn't have to try to do something. But then the next day, it was so boring and so dulling and numb and just not a good time that if I gained a little bit of joy of adding some ease, the next day my life was just a little bit worse. And
Hmm.
it was just a steady decline over and over and over again until I was just at rock bottom. So that's kind of where I was at the beginning of this.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I started this, whatever you want to call this journey, when I started writing and really getting into like publishing, posting, and getting stuff out there, the second I want to say it's like the second thing I wrote on was the drift of complacency to where
Yeah, yeah,
you just it's not nobody gets like I think there's a quote I think it's Chris Williamson talks about it, but like nobody gets fit in a day and nobody gets fat in a day, but it's just a
yeah,
drift. Right, where you're just
100%.
slowly doing it's just one small decision after one small decision. And I can get in a much kind of deeper talk later on, but just about what comfort can really do to a community, to a society, to a family, to a church. Like it can do a lot of damaging things, but it never just happens in a day. Like nobody just decides like, hey, I'm just gonna stop everything, or I'm just gonna
Right.
lose all will to eat healthy, or whatever it might be. Like it just never happens in a day, and it's just so important to be intentional. But I think and there's a lot of, there's kind of pendulums kind of swinging back to where like this whole life optimization thing is kind of catching some heat online, which is the dumbest thing ever. But I do remember when we were like in the early 20s, like what was popular was like, just partying and doing just dumb stuff, not really striving or growing a career or investing or being smart with business or like that was just not out there. It was just all of what you're talking about, just seeking comfort and pleasure
Yep.
and like all of that. And to me, like what an awesome shift because there's some guys that we actually coached, you know, 6 years ago, whatever it was, that I see them online and dude, they're grinding right now. Like they have
They're
like a
grinding.
they
It's
are like it's
inspiring.
awesome. Like they're like 19, 20, 21, and they're trying to like start businesses and sell it. Like I'm like, that's freaking awesome. They're posting pictures of them in the gym. Like just couldn't be more proud. And I just thought as soon as I stopped playing basketball, dude, you know that how you talk about the freshman 40, like the freshman 15. I gained like freshman 40. Like I
Oh,
went
did
did
you really?
nothing. Yeah, I got thick quick. It wasn't a day, but it was close, right?
I love it.
So I started, I hurt my ankle really bad, and that's when I kind of just stopped and lost all drive. And then I started going to, funny enough, TJC. And then every day I was eating like two McDoubles, two McChickens, large fries, large sweet tea. Like that was just my lunch, like
Heck
that.
yeah.
And then I'd go home, pound down more. And I wasn't playing basketball, I wasn't running, dude. I got big quick, right?
It
And I was
happens
like, what
quick,
the
man.
crap happened to my life, And then I just remember that, and it's kind of slowly getting into the running. I didn't have like the crazy contrast that you did, probably from like nothing to 500 days straight. But like I do remember, like it's so you just drift, man. That complacency and that comfort, like it can get you. So
It's easy to do, man.
yeah,
When you're used to going out and eating queso at every meal,
so good though.
it's easy because it brings a little bit of joy, but then you feel bad right
Yeah,
after. And then the
it's the
next
worst.
day, you're like, the only thing that's gonna make me feel better is a little more queso. And that's the way it goes, man.
Yeah, I think Jocko Willink calls that like the free dopamine, where it's like eating donuts kind of releases that same dopamine in your brain of like, oh, that's as good. I like this. The brain kind of craves that release, but it's like the easy one that has the bad effects after, like eating a donut
That's
or
right.
the
Yeah,
queso.
I haven't heard that.
Um,
That's pretty good. Yeah.
it's pretty good. Like when I saw that, I was like, man, every time, and right now we're like in the middle of like teaching in the in-service world where like we're getting donuts and picking the blanket and queso and all that stuff. I'm just looking at it. I was like, all right, stay strong, because you motivated me to start going every day again too. So
Let's go.
before we kind of segue, keep going into this, I want to like just talk about like the content you're making, man. I will say like it's pretty cool because like you just started. Like I mean, I don't know how long where you just started creating this, and dude, it's good stuff, man. Like I feel like it's like a really cool, chill, relatable dude trying to teach me how to work out, and I like it.
Let's
It's not
go.
like
Thank
this
you.
super yoked up, like using big words. It's like, hey, this is what I do. You should do it
Yeah.
too. Here's what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
Give it a
Here's what's worked
shot.
for me. Yeah, so
Right.
I've enjoyed it. I've always like I'm probably gonna add that to my shoulder workout next time. So it's
Let's
been good.
go.
Definitely worth checking out if anybody's leaning into that and wants some kind of chill, like no pressure, learning from a dude who just puts the work in. So, anyways, it's been good stuff, and it's been
Appreciate
cool to
that.
follow along.
Thank you.
What running 500 days? What's something that you don't think you can learn without that level of discipline and doing that hard things that many days in a row?
Something you don't think you can learn from
Without the
running
work, essentially.
without that work. I think back, like, I'll tell you what I did learn from it. How's this?
Okay. Yeah.
So I got to go back to
You're
really
good.
the day that I text you. Uh,
Okay.
so I'm sitting there. I taught seniors, and the last 2 weeks of school at the school I teach at,
They're the
they
worst, by the way.
the
Just anybody listening, they're the worst. Seniors are the worst at the end of the
well
year.
the last 2 weeks of school is actually pretty sick there because they're already graduated. So
Oh,
it's
yeah, the
only
early release. Yeah, they're
yeah
on the
they get
senior week and
early,
stuff. Yeah. They're
exactly.
good then,
So
I guess.
yeah, they're good then. It's pretty awesome. Actually, I enjoyed most of my kids, so we had a
I
good
got
time.
you.
But
I'm
anyways,
just kidding. I love the
I know,
kids, love the students.
I
Okay.
know, I know. But anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm in this empty classroom and I'm at the absolute trough of my life. And
Yeah.
I'm in an empty classroom all day by myself. I see no one all day other than like a 3 5 minute passing period. And at that point, it's just kids walking by. I'm really
Yeah.
not interacting with anybody. Nothing's going on in my life. And so I'd already, by this time in that 2 weeks, I had already done all the grading, all the finalizing, all the paperwork I need to do,
Hmm.
everything that a teacher has to do,
Hmm.
it's done. Planning for next year, everything's done. And I'm just sitting there watching YouTube for like 3 days straight. And I'm again, just seeking comfort. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
But there happened upon a video that really kind of set my life in motion. And so I'll get to the question. This will answer the
You're
question.
good. You're good.
So in the video, I didn't know who either one of these people were. Aside from weirdly, I remember you mentioning it to our head coach at Lindell,
Okay.
mentioning one of these people, David Goggins. I didn't even know who he was, other
I got
than
you.
hearing you mention him. But it was an interview between Andrew Huberman and David Goggins,
Hmm.
and it was titled "How to Have Immense Inner Strength." And at that time, I had already been trying to eat better and work out. And I'd tried this off and on 2 months out of the year for the last like 3 years straight, and it just never would stick. And so I see that title and I'm like, that is what I need. I have no inner strength. And so I click on it and they start talking about Goggins' his life and everything, which is an incredible story. Mm-hmm. And I was really intrigued by that. And then Huberman asked him, had he ever heard of the anterior mid-cingulate cortex?
Yes.
Okay, you've heard of this?
Yeah. I know this video. Like, I remember specifically. The whole time you were talking, I was like, what was that? The brain part. I couldn't remember it. I'm glad you did, because it was driving me crazy. So,
anterior mid-cingulate cortex. So he says that to Goggins, and after hearing Goggins' story, I know he knows what he's talking about. And Goggins' first thing he says is, that makes total sense. Mm-hmm. And so right then and there, I'm in my khakis, I'm in my Vans that I wear to work, and I'm in a collared shirt. And I'm like, get your lazy butt up. And luckily for me, there was a trail right beside the school that I taught at. And I in my khakis, in that work gear, I went out to the trail and I said, I'm going to run because it's hard. I'm going to do something because it's hard. And so I did that, and I felt like I was going to die. Quite literally. Thought I was going to die. If this
end of the year, you're probably talking the end of May, it's Texas, you're hot, and I just see you in like khakis and tie running through a woods trail. Like this visual is awesome for me right now. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
No, yeah, 100%. And so I go back up to the classroom, and I lay on the cold tile floor, disgusting tile floor that the kids have been making a mess on. I lay down on that cold floor to cool off because I'm literally about to die. I snuck in so none of the teachers would see me with my red face and drenched shirt. And so I'm laying there, and I say, I need friends who are more aligned with what this is. Because I knew immediately something was right about it. That I did something difficult and it felt right. I was mad at myself because I couldn't find that. After 6 years, I finally found it in one day. Mm-hmm. But I also knew that something was right. So to answer your question, what can you only learn by doing this stuff? If you don't use that muscle in your brain that helps you do difficult things, you will lose it. And you have to use that to continue to do difficult things. If you want to be great, you have to do hard things. I heard a quote. I don't remember if actually I may have heard it from you actually.
Oh gosh.
If you want an easy life, do hard things. And if you want a hard life, just do easy things. And so it felt right. So that's what I learned. So
I got you. No, that's awesome. And there's a couple things that come to mind when you said that. For one, when you're talking about all that free time you had at the end of the year and like you're on YouTube, there's like a third grade teacher that's just probably so frustrated with us right now. You're thinking about all this free time you have at the end of the year, and like this third grade teacher's fighting for their life at the last 2 weeks, just trying to keep everybody happy. And for one, I thought about that too. And two, the just image of you just taking off is, dude, that's an awesome story, man. That is cool just to think about. Like, you're not going to let anything stop you in this moment, and you're going to go do it. Like, that's really cool. But I think about like being a principal walking by and seeing like somebody just pass out on the floor, red face. Like, I'm going into like, we going in the hole, the lockdown, what we're about to do, But,
100%.
But yeah, like that part of the brain is really interesting because I think Huberman on that podcast says that it's also tied to like longevity, like your life. And it doesn't talk about if it's causation or correlation, but my thought process, if you're willing to do hard things, right? And most of the time those hard things are generally going to be good for you because you wouldn't do hard things that are bad for you. You're going to do things like working out and eating healthy and being disciplined. It's kind of like the delayed gratification, marshmallow test type stuff, what we're talking about, to where it's like, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this because I know I need to do it. Right. And that part of your brain, they said it only grows if you truly don't want to do the thing if you don't want to do the thing. So if you every now and then you're motivated to run, but a lot of times, man, you look at your shoes for like 30 minutes, you're like, oh my God, this one's hurting. Like, I can't get these shoes on. I got to go for this run. That is actually when it grows. But that's really interesting you mentioned that because that's a great, great podcast on that.
It really was. It completely changed my life. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I will say that I don't like running. I really don't. Every single day I have to convince myself, and every single day I find a way to do it. But
That's what I was literally about to ask. I was like, what do you do on those days where you're like, this is the last thing I want to do? Like what? Like how do you get yourself through it? It's probably simple, but
it's really most days, to be honest with you.
yeah,
I'll answer that. I got another story. So
go for it, dude.
I actually started this streak one other time, and I got to day 4, and then I had my bachelor party, and I was planning on running during my bachelor party, and that did not happen. So I give myself a little bit of a break there. It was only day 4.
I got you.
But I missed one day, and I came home, and I literally did absolutely nothing that day, and I felt horrible. There was just like this deep aching pain in my soul that like I ended that on day 4. Like I just felt like such a wussy. And so I started it again, and on day 11 I go out to eat with my brother, and we have probably a little too much to drink, and we went to Stanley's barbecue and just had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
What great place.
I don't regret it. It was a lot of fun. And we come home, and it's 11 o'clock at night, and I have not run. I'm on day 11 o'clock at night, and I tell my wife, I say, guess I'm starting this over again. And she looks at me and she's like, she wasn't even running like at all at this point. Mm-hmm. And she looks at me and says, no, get up. We're both going.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
shout out to her. That's awesome.
So on day 11, at 11 o'clock, I almost quit, and my wife got me through it. And that's the last day I've actually ever really questioned on if I'm going to make it or not. So I don't ever feel like running. Every single day, I'm like, do I really want to do this right now? Do I want to do it later? Do I want to do it now? Do I want to just end the streak? And those 3 questions really always come to my mind every time before I lace up my shoes. But even as I'm questioning myself, I just get up and grab my shoes anyways. Like, I really think having 500 days ago, like, I was already a different person than where I was when I truly started this. So if I would have tried this 800 days ago, not happening. It's just not happening, period. But at 500 days ago, I was very capable of doing this. So I'd already kind of trained that area in my brain to do difficult things.
I got you.
But now it's just, what time am I running? Not necessarily, am I going to run today? Am I going to run in the morning, or am I going to run in the evening? Most times it's in the morning. There's a quote that I like, eat the frog. It's a little simple children's quote. But if you got to eat a frog every single day, if you have to eat a live frog, are you going to wait until the very end of the day to do it? Or you're just going to go ahead and eat the frog, get it over with? And so I just try to eat the frog, get it over with.
I got you, man. We've joked back and forth trying to coordinate some runs, but it just hasn't really happened yet. We live kind of far, not too far, but enough to be out of the way a little bit.
A bit of an annoying distance, yeah.
Yeah, just enough to where it's like, man, I gotta plan some, like, where my kids are gonna be for a little bit, you know. But it's just one of those where, and we're gonna coordinate it, and it'd be cool if we can make like a video or something on it. But anyways, you're talking about that, and man, like we talked about, we had a chance, I think this last week, and I was like, hey man, can we get a run? You're like, can you do 6 a.m.? I'm like, I don't know if we can, brother. But I've never been a morning runner. Like, I'm a night owl by all senses. Like, most of my work that I do, whether I'm riding, making these videos, most of my running, especially if I'm training for a race, is probably after 9:30. And I live out in the country on county roads where you're going to see like coyotes and hogs shooting off everywhere. Yeah. It's the worst situation. And all I have to do to fix it is to get up early and eat the frog. But my brain just goes to like, hit that snooze, wake up 20 minutes before I have to be there at work, which I get there kind of early, but my time that I have to be there. And dude, like I've struggled to eat the frog in the morning. So I need to lock in there. I need to do that. So
I'll tell you this, actually. One thing I learned during my 20s when I wasn't doing anything, I was not necessarily the same way that you are. I was a lot worse. I would sit up until like 7, 8 a.m. doing literally nothing. I remember walking my dog at 5 o'clock in the morning, not because it was early, but because it was late. And,
oh, man.
Yeah. And so one thing I did learn during that, though, is that time really isn't real. It's just like, are you
time
awake
is relative
or
or
yeah. I mean, are you awake or not? So
I'm
That's
wanting
the
to make a video where, like, everybody puts their like morning routines on there, and it's like they wake up 4:30 a.m., get the push-ups in, do this, do that. Like, I want to make mine, and it's just me hitting the snooze button,
you
and then
should, dude. That'd be funny.
like cut to like 9:30 p.m. or 10:30 p.m., and I'm getting like 8 miles in, or something like that. Just because I think it's
Heck
like
yeah,
the idea is like you got to find your time. Like, it's not,
absolutely, man.
you know. And really, when I had kids, that's when it really changed. We're pretty routine with the kids. They're typically down between 7:30 and 8, and we have the 8 to 10 to kind of, knock out whatever we want to do and Wi-Fi and I, and then most of the time we try to maybe watch something, together, just hang out just a little bit. But that's typically kind of our rhythm. But yeah, man, night out for sure. And like so many people are like, dude, that's insane. But I'm like, to me, it's insane to get up early. Running early, my body is just so tight. It takes like 2 miles to loosen up, and I don't
That is
stretch
fair.
like I should and all that stuff. I just take off. So I know I'm the problem, right? But that's part of it.
That is fair, though. I will say I have to take the first mile or 2 miles if I'm running a long distance. Always is horrible,
Mhm.
always. So, but once you get past that, then it's fine. It's all good. So,
Yeah. And I think another thing, and I know there's so much content and like even sign up kind of some like making fun of like runners at some point, but dude, it's one of those when you bring up Atomic Habits, like it's like the best like habit stacker ever because you get to listen to an audiobook or you get to do some other things that's just going to maximize. And I wrote on, I think it was kind of a capacity, like increasing your capacities where you can only have so much time during the day. So if you
mhm.
can become the most efficient at running, at your lifting, at listening to content, or becoming really efficient, you're actually optimizing and maximizing, but you're also saving a ton of time as well. Because if I'm trying to get through books, there's times where you go for some long runs and you'll finish a book in maybe 3 4 days, and you can actually consume so much content. And it's
100%.
one of those that you can stack so many things to running because after you run, do a good run, you're probably not going to want to eat like crap. You're like, oh no, I need to hydrate
Absolutely.
and I do this. And then your sleep's going to be better. And then if your sleep's better, you're going to feel better. If you feel better, like for me, I know I have more energy
That's a
with my
great point.
kids. And, so I just think it's just one of those I think they call that a cornerstone habit or something. I can't remember what he called it in the book, but it's one of those that it just builds on. And I think there's other things you can do besides run, but that seems to be one of the best ones that I think people
There's
really,
so many benefits to it. Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. Like, you don't want to eat bad, not only just because you just got done running. Sometimes people can say, well, I just ran, so might as well, I could eat whatever. But for
Yeah.
me, it was like, I'm going to run tomorrow. If I eat bad, I'm going to
Hmm.
feel bad during that run. I'm going to feel horrible during that run. And it's going to be hard. That run is going to be harder. And I
Yeah.
don't want it to be harder. I don't even want to do it at all. So
Hmm.
I really don't want it to be harder. But
So
yeah.
let me ask you, I don't know if I had this, written or not, but there's, I think it was Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO guy. He talked about, he caught a lot of heat for it where he's pretty optimized. Like he's living his life very, very efficiently. He has, he tracks his sleep, tracks everything. And he talked one of his videos. He's like, yeah, I drank a few glasses of wine and then my next day my sleep was off and then my run was off and I felt bad. And he caught so much heat for that. But I think there's an element to where that's frustrating to people because it's like, oh, they're missing so much of life they can't even enjoy that. I think the argument is like, no, we indulged in that life too much that we know
Yeah.
what that brings. It's not like I really try to go for extreme balance. So if I'm out with some friends and stuff and we're trying to get some really good food, I definitely want to enjoy it with them, right? Or
100%.
if there's going to be, if my rest day, like I will get the light workout in, but like I'm going to play with my kids and I'm not going to worry about 10 miles. It's going to be 2 miles or like a heavy lift. I'm going to stretch those kind of things, whatever it might be, just to like get the body moving. But how do you balance, I would say, extreme discipline with the kind of the enjoying the little things in life?
I honestly, I don't really try.
Yeah.
I just know that if I'm going out to eat for a normal meal with my wife, like if it's just a normal day, I'm just not gonna get a margarita or a beer anymore.
Yeah.
Like
I got you.
if I'm going out with friends, I mean, sure, I'll grab a drink, but I'm not gonna go crazy anymore. I might have one
Hmm.
crazy evening every 6 months or once a
I got
year.
you.
I'm gonna have fun, but
Hmm.
I just enjoy the benefits too much of like
Hmm.
kind of the lifestyle that I'm currently in, especially seeing the exact opposite. You know, having three margaritas at every dinner or
Yeah.
having a
Hmm.
beer while you're playing Breath of the Wild. You know, So I've
Yeah.
seen both sides, and I just enjoy this one more. So
Hmm. And
it's sorry, go
go ahead.
ahead. I
No,
was
so
just saying
I think
it's
it was one of
just
those two. My bad, dude. That's the struggle with the online stuff. I'm gonna stop and
you're
let
good.
you
You're
go.
good. I don't. No, you're good, dude. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. But yeah, so I do think like there was an element to where it kind of goes back to your why. So I think some people like, they can get really obsessed and it's almost like a body dysmorphia of like, I have to look a certain way and I got to count my macros. So and like, I think there's definitely an unhealthy side of discipline, but it's always coming back to like, the why of what you started with versus it. Because I do remember there was an element to where it worked in my life, but I was, really like bulking and lifting a lot. And I hate lifting. I love running. I hate lifting, but I make myself do
Really?
it. Yeah, I really I can't stand it. That is like I force myself into my shop, which is where I work out at, and like I make myself do it. That's eating the frog for me. It's like I have to go lift. If I get to run, man, that's awesome. That's a win for the day. Like if I'm on vacation, my favorite thing to do, like in a city that I've never been in, is just take off.
I actually
Never want to go to
agree.
the weight room. So,
I
but
love the
I,
weight room, man. I'm not jacked
that's
by any means, but I love it. It's something I look forward to every single day.
But like what I realized was like I kind of got to the unhealthy side of that to where I was trying to get about 4,000 calories and about 200 to 250 grams of protein and counting my macros, but really I was bulking nonstop. And dude, it worked. Like I actually gained the weight. Like it's not, once again, it's simple. It's just hard to like meal prep that much, eat that much.
Yeah,
I felt like I was like, all I'm doing is looking in the mirror and like I'm like this is just probably not healthy long term to be thinking like this all the time. Like when I started doing it, all I really work out for now is longevity. Like I just want to be healthy for my kids, my grandkids, and whatever one day. Like that's my why I'm working out. Running is my mental health probably. But on
fair
the
enough.
lifting side of it, it's I think I leaned pretty heavy into it where it's just like man I started hating food. Like I was just eating like chicken and rice and beef and rice all the time and eggs all the time and protein shakes all the time and tuna all the time. Like it was, I did struggle because I think, I think it's one of those we obviously want to see it, but when you get obsessed with wanting to see it instead of the benefits, I think that's where I misalign my what am I doing this for? So I think
Yeah,
that's kind
yeah,
of where I missed the mark.
that makes
Um,
sense.
what are some unexpected outcomes or unexpected benefits you had from committing full commit 500 days in a row?
Unexpected. One thing I'd say, I had always hoped that my friends would join in on me.
Okay.
Most of them did not. Um,
Yeah.
But one of them did, and the one that did, I would say, was the one that I expected least to join in with me. And he's my literal best friend, and I'm so glad that he joined in on me.
That's
But
awesome.
just having that in common with my best friend was unexpected, and it's been like my favorite thing. We talk about going on runs all the time and
Is that the one you ran the
lifting all the
Austin
time.
Marathon with?
Yeah, it is. Yep,
Okay,
yep,
awesome. Cool, cool. Yeah. No,
yep.
that's really cool because it does open up discipline will open up doors you didn't know existed. Is
Yeah,
what I
hundred
found out
percent.
in my life. And one of those, and like, I would say like the whole motto of what I'm trying to build here with like this Remori.net, what I'm trying to build is all about, I think I have it here. It's just wisdom, courage, and discipline, where you're seeking wisdom, you're, acting on courage, and you're disciplined doing the things you don't want to do to achieve the things you want to achieve. Right. But there were so many things, so many doors open just from making myself write every single week. And it started off with me trying to create a library for my kids. Like I'm gonna write the best lesson in life that I can each and every week. And it's about a 2,000 word-ish essay style writing. And I'm coming up on 1 year right now. And it's one of
Oh,
those
dude,
where, yeah, pretty cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm number 47. So what is that? 5 or 6 more? 52? Yeah, 5 or 6 more. But it's
Not
been
bad.
really like that process, and it's also kind of like running and working out. Like you're not going to get abs in a day, but there's
Right.
some things where it's like I started writing, and all of a sudden, I don't have all the red lines and improper grammar, and I got actually better at writing, and it opened some doors where I can write for this. It's a company called The Daily Coach. They do like these newsletters, and they do like this. I would say it's a kind of like a coaching academy to help coaching staffs out, and I write like a biblical perspective on like their topics and their modules. So that was a door I never thought would open.
That's awesome,
Just
dude.
so there's been some cool aspects where like you just like everything worth achieving is going to require discipline.
Yep.
Like I don't know
100%.
another way to say it. It's like if you're gonna do something hard, like for example, if somebody is, you know, like if you can prove that you can do something repeatedly in and out, whether it's hard, it makes you more, hireable. It makes your business better. It makes you more reliable. It makes you more trustworthy. It just does so many things that like it seems obvious, but kind of like until you start doing it, you're like, oh, this is why it works. Like I think you said it to me in a text the other day. You're like, I think the guy, I can't remember his first name, Smoke. He says it's not difficult, or what do you say? It's simple, but not easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that I would say that's how it's defined. I think that's exactly what's happening is like, it's just hard to do. And that's why it's props to you. And that's why I wanted you to get on here, because it kind of checks all those boxes, especially with you starting the kind of the fitness content. Like you stepped out of the comfort zone. You're seeking wisdom. You're doing all that stuff. Like you're just fitting this perfectly. I'm like, I can't wait to get you on the podcast. So that's been pretty cool.
You. Yeah, no, so I love that, the wisdom, courage, and discipline thing. I really do. Wisdom, I will say in my 20s, while I wasted away my physical, like every physical gift that I had, I wasted it all away. I will say I've always loved learning. Even when was just sitting there, if I was watching YouTube, it was stuff that I wanted to learn about. I'm super interested in like space and physics and history. I love all that stuff. So I've always loved learning. So I'm not saying I have wisdom, but I've always loved learning.
But seeking wisdom, yeah.
Seeking wisdom, yeah.
Yeah.
And discipline, I feel like I finally have got that down a little bit. I'm still working on it every day. You have to. That's the definition of discipline. But courage is the thing that I'm now entering into courage. And that was part of why I started posting online. I had just, you know what? I'm going to dare greatly. And that's what I'm doing, having a little courage.
And it's honestly like the best, I think. I don't know if it's called like immersion therapy, to where like whatever you fear, you do the thing and you no longer fear it after that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like once I posted the first video, like I've been writing for, like I said, about a year, but I probably posted the first video a couple months ago, dude. I just remember being so anxious, and like I bet you I have 30 videos on like ready to post right now, but I'm a coward sometimes. I'm like, why don't I just post these? And I want to start doing the short form on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all that, but like I'm frustrated because I'm not living what I'm preaching, right? But at the same time, I know it once I do it, like it just gets easier. Like once you put yourself in the situation, like, yeah, this is hard, yes, and more than likely, what you're fearing is just illogical and unreasonable. Like all of a sudden, everybody's going to text you say you're the worst ever. We're no longer friends. Like that stuff doesn't happen.
Right.
Most of the time, it's the opposite. Like you have people reaching out, hey man, that was cool, you posted. Most of the time, it's positive, but you fear this vague. I think Alex Ramosi says fear is like a mile wide and an inch deep, where it just looks like it's so bad and daunting, but once you do it, you're like, oh, I just got to keep doing it. It is what it is.
Right, 100%.
Have you felt that a little bit with posting?
Yes and no. More that the people that I personally know, it freaks me out that they're gonna see it. Like, yeah. But at the same time, everyone that has seen it that personally knows me is always super, kind about it. So whether or not they're making fun of me behind my back, I don't know. But I don't really care at this point. So I'm just doing it. But I will say, you said that sometimes you can act like a coward. You know this. Courage, just like discipline and just like wisdom, isn't found in a day. Like it's something you have to work on. And I'm working on that right now, and I think you are too. So trying
to, man. Even with this exact video right here, right? But
I wouldn't call that cowardly. Working on it is brave.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it. I mean, at this point, I can't remember what newsletter it was, but it's one of those where like you have two people scared to do something, and one does it. It's not the fact that he was scared; it's the fact that he chose to do it and do it scared. He did it other way anyways, because that's the definition of just making the choice to do something despite feeling like you don't want to, or you're scared to do it, or you're fearful of outcome. Like it's the ultimate form of like, it wouldn't be courage if you weren't scared. So it's one of those I have to keep reminding myself. But it kind of led to what's been really cool is I want to go to a direction with this, podcast where I'm wanting to reach out to other small creators. I would say like, in the micro creator world where we're just getting into it, or like, I see something like this dude did something for 500 days. Like I want to get him on the podcast, or like, there's just, kind of interesting things, because I think kind of a rising tide floats all boats there. But this is kind of the model I like, because I think the whole seeking wisdom is you just got to get in front of people. I think wisdom, I think I've defined it as like applied knowledge. Like you can be trivial, you can learn things, like you can, you might can look up how to work on your car, but until you start turning wrenches, like you're not gaining wisdom. You're just
Exactly.
gaining trivial
Yeah.
knowledge, right?
100%.
S-
Yeah.
Um, and for me, the biggest thing that's changed my life, and you said it a second ago, you want to surround yourself with these type of people, is finding mentors, man. Like that has been the biggest element that's changed my life of like, just getting somebody where like I'm seeing fruit in their life. Like, for example, a couple kind of spiritual father parenthood type figures in my life that I seek as mentors. Like I would just see them, the fruit of their life. I would see their kids, how successful they are, and like just so much. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna attach myself to him. I'm gonna buy him lunch and ask him 1,000 questions.
Yeah.
And like that's been the biggest advice for me for like find somebody who's doing what you want to do or somebody you respect and just attach yourself to them. Don't be weird, obviously, but just buy them lunch and and then like
Yeah.
start learning, man. So is there any people in your life that you think you've just kind of learned or like that kind of stick out where it's like, okay, I've gotten some and this journey's really kind of helped me with anybody or any like channels, people, authors, that kind of stuff?
Um, yeah. In that regard of like public figures, there's not anybody that I've necessarily reached out to,
Yeah.
um, but Nick Bear is one.
Oh, he's freaking
Um,
awesome.
yeah, I, I I just tried to emulate him for the longest. So I mentioned how at the beginning of this how I needed to find more friends that were more aligned, and so I
Hmm.
text you because I thought that's what you were, and I was sure was right. But so I didn't know what to do. I don't make friends very easy,
I got you.
and so I basically just pretended all the YouTube people were my friends. So
There you
Nick
go.
Bear became my best friend.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
so that's just him. But in my personal life, as a mentor, my aunt and my uncle, uh,
Okay.
they have helped me a lot. We have not really ever been close, but here recently we've been talking on the phone a lot, and just having their advice in like how to live my life has really helped. So I'd say them, my wife, my mom, but yeah, the
Mhm.
having just people that keeps me in my lane. So I need bumpers on my life. I need like
I
a
got you.
bowling lane. I need some bumpers, and they're my
That's smart.
bumpers.
That's wisdom because you know what happens when you don't have those bumpers.
I 100% know. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
applied knowledge right there.
Yeah. There you go. Hey, all right. So, I'm trying to think about the first time. So you ran the Austin Marathon. That was the first marathon, right?
Yep.
Okay. So Austin Marathon, do you remember kind of signing up for it, the nerves? And I'm kind of getting to a question of like, you know, did, did doing this hard thing and signing up and having the courage and the discipline, did that, kind of walk me through signing up the first marathon? Were you physically ready when you signed up for it? Did you have to build up to it? And then, afterwards, has that mindset of like doing hard things applied to other elements of your life?
Uh, I was not ready for it. I was running a lot, and at that point, I had ran a 15K and had run 10, 12 miles maybe max.
Hmm.
And so I felt like I could do it, but I knew I needed to train more. It wasn't something that was like extremely daunting to me though.
Hmm.
Uh, but I mentioned my buddy, my best friend. He was not really running much at that point. He was
Yeah.
running a little bit, but for him, I'm sure that was a very daunting task. And seeing him say, "You know what? Screw it, let's do it." That was inspiring for me. So,
Hmm.
uh, but yeah, I will say, training for the marathon and then running the marathon and knowing how I felt at the end of the race made like all of that worth it, and it became proof for me that if you put in the work for something,
Hmm.
you can do something. I didn't run just I it wasn't a great time by any means, like,
Yeah.
but for me, coming from where I came from, just finishing the thing, not
Hmm.
walking, running the whole thing was impressive to me. And that's really all that mattered. But just putting in that work and having that proof to myself that I was
Hmm.
capable of not the marathon, but the work that got me to the marathon. The
Hmm.
marathon was just another day at that point, because I had already ran 26 miles probably two times before that. It was just the event.
Hmm.
So I just, yes, the proof. Yeah. And it has led into all aspects of my life, work, content creation. I'm all in on everything. My
Yeah.
relationship with my wife has gotten better. Everything about my life has gotten better from training for something very difficult. Yes, I would say.
And like I think I've written on it before, and like I need to stop saying that. But talking about like kind of recipes, right? So it's like that recipe of like that's a guaranteed ingredient to anything you want to achieve. It's like you have to set a goal and you have to work really hard to get it, and then you have to find the best way to do it, right? That's in everything, and then somehow I still get surprised at outcomes. It's like, oh, I can't believe that worked. And I'm like, I probably should have believed that worked. But my experience with the first marathon that I ran, I technically ran a marathon, like not in a race, but I ran to prepare for like a 32-mile ultra marathon. It's barely even an ultra marathon. But my experience was the exact opposite, where it was like, it was horrible. It went awful because
you were sick, though. It doesn't count.
Yeah, so like I said, it's kind of, I mean, I guess, and that's the part of my brain where like maybe I need to sign up for another one. But now it's like I know the recipe, like I know what kind of time commitment that is. And my brothers, me and my three other brothers ran that, and they signed up for one in South Texas, I think, in October, and I can't go to it to some previous obligations, anyways. But they're talking about doing that again this next year, and like there's a pit in my stomach because now I think Nick Bears talked about this, where he's like, when you sign up for a race, there is a pit in your stomach because you know what it requires.
Yeah,
that's where I am able, which I enjoy running. Like it's I think you get those miles in, that's enjoyable. But at some point, that's when, as soon as you sign up, you have the dopamine hit. It's great, it's awesome, and then it starts to fade off, and then life gets hard, and then kids get, the thing starts happening, and then all of a sudden it's like 11:30, and you need to get 8 miles in today. You're like, what the?
Yeah, so it's really not even the 14-mile long run. It's the 8-mile run on Wednesday night before work on Thursday.
Yes, you're like, oh, what am I doing? You're just questioning everything. But yeah, I was sick. So long story short, I mean, I had a good about 4 weeks before the race, I ran a marathon because I've never ran one before. So that was kind of a check the list I wanted to get. Time was really bad, but I got it done, felt good. Ended up getting strep throat about 2 weeks before the race. Thought I healed up good enough and just had finish the race, but not in any capacity that I ever thought. And what was cool about it is those kind of races, dude, that there's something that you find at the pit of that mile 18, 19 on that hill climb that you just can't find anywhere else. It's hard to explain. Like there's a mental filing cabinet or cave that you just can't access unless you're in a weird type of pain. And me and my three older brothers all talked about this because we all ran our different races. Like I had my issues. My brother, 3 years older than me, he had his life is very, very busy right now. He's working multiple jobs, all kinds of stuff. He did not get the training miles in that he wanted to. He's naturally a great runner, but like he did not train the miles. He's probably has to be on a record of like lowest miles trained per finishing an ultra marathon.
Oh yeah,
top 10% probably. My other brother, he reminds me a lot of you. He had probably about 150 day streak going into that race, but he changed his life around with running. He went from like 44-year-old smoker, like kind of got into that drift of complacency, kind of like you just explained earlier, and then started running, quit smoking on the spot, and then he's 3 years in, he's signing up for ultra marathons. He hit his own wall. And then my other brother, he didn't really train well. He's either like all gas or brakes. He does not do anything halfway. But he trained really hard for a very short amount of time. He ended up having like feet issues. Like he's having to take his shoe off. He's bleeding. Like his feet are bleeding. Like so all of us hit a pit that like you can't really explain unless you've been there. But it's one of those like highly recommend it. But now I'm to the point of like now I know what it takes. So it's kind of like I'm getting that pit in my stomach where like I need to sign up for another one. I need to get. I think I'm going to run a marathon in Galveston. I think in February. Cool. But an ultra that's flat. That's on pavement. That's is a little bit different. But I think I'm wanting to do that. But anyways, kind of getting back to it. So what do you see? What's the future of this 500-day streak? What's Gibbs got in his future?
The streak. My plan for the streak is I die. Like I don't plan on ending the streak.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's my plan.
I mean, it's not awesome that you're like dying. Like that's awesome though, with that mentality is what I meant, obviously.
Yeah. No, I have no plans on ever ending the streak. I ran on my wedding day. I ran on my honeymoon. I ran on Christmas. I ran on Thanksgiving, my birthday.
Let's go.
I who cares? I'm just gonna run. And so
that's awesome.
It is what it is. That is my plan. I've had people ask me that. Are you planning on calling it a day on the streak?
You can't now though.
Nah. Why?
I know, and that's where like I'm probably on day, I don't know, like 20 something at this point, because we you've been texting for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I got to get back to it. But it kind
Let's
of
go.
builds the consistency. Like it builds like I don't want that streak go, man. Like it's I think Casey Neistat made a video on this pretty recently. He's an everyday runner for like years now, and he talked to another
Okay.
guy, and he made a cool video on it. But yeah, it's like it's kind of like you'd say it's like an addiction, but it's also just the best motivator of like, no, I can't. Wow,
Yeah.
I can go on a
Yeah.
15-minute, 20-minute run. Like, what am I
Right.
doing? You know? So I'm trying to get back to it. So I'm hoping this is an accountability check, because another reason I wanted to have this specific one, man, because for one, I just wanted to like encourage you. What you're doing is awesome. And like, I
Thank
think this content, like your fitness journey, I think, dude, I think you have the recipe. You have the discipline. If you're gonna like, if this is the path, I think we're gonna have this video. Like, I want to remake this podcast in a year, and I want
Let's
to compare
go.
it, because I really like,
Yeah,
I
let's
really
do
thought
it.
about this, because I'm like, he's gonna be at like 800 days, and then I guarantee you wherever the channel's at, which I want to post links after all this when I can, but
Right.
I think it's going to be a really cool, like, here's the recipe. You want to create content, you want to do this. What's it going to take? It's going to take this one. And that's why I think
Yeah.
it'll be a cool video to kind of jump on this and talk about it. So,
I agree, man.
um,
This is our first picture in the mirror right here. Our
yeah, it
before
is
picture.
the before picture. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
I'm very curious on it. It's kind of exciting to think about. All right. I don't know. If you're looking day one Gibbs, day one Bridges, or maybe even, you know, back to the, we're sitting on the recliner. We got the Switch, we got the 64, we got the PS, we got all that. We got the mini fridge going. Like, what would you say to that dude right now?
First off, I like that you mentioned the 64. That's the best console of all
Yeah,
time. Smash Bros. 64 is my jam.
100%.
So,
You
to
right?
answer,
So, quick story. Like, and we don't work there anymore, so it's probably fine. We might have stuck that thing into the coach's office a couple of times and played some rounds at the end of school a couple of times. And I will say, you're solid at it, man. I thought I was
thank
good,
you,
and then I got a reality check. But anyways, go on.
thank you.
Yeah,
What would I tell day one Gibbs? Is that what you asked?
yeah,
Okay, day one, or before I got my life together or started getting my life together. I don't know that I could actually tell him anything because I think he already knew. He already
okay,
knew. I don't think he knew what the actual answer was. So I guess I could tell him, go do something difficult.
hmm,
But he knew that he was not doing anything. Like he wasn't trying. And I think
I
he
got you.
knew that if he tried, his life would probably be better. And I think even if I wouldn't have found running, if I would have just tried, I
Hmm.
probably would have been better. But this is just running just happened to be the catalyst that kind of set me in motion. So I don't
Hmm.
know that I could actually tell him anything. He was kind of a know-it-all, anyways. So
That's such a good point, because I don't think, I think there's just something about, you have to experience this for yourself, because I think some people who probably don't consume this kind of content, don't do these things, probably get tired of people talking about this. But it's just the most biggest advice you could ever give anybody. It's like, dude, go do hard things. Like,
yeah,
just go do hard things. Like, there's nothing better for your life than to suffer for something bigger than yourself, for some
quite
kind of
literally.
cause.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I was going somewhere else with that. But just thinking about, my journey as well, like, gosh, the pride, the ego, man, the ego is a killer. You're thinking you know things, like, and that is the number one thing. If you're going to pursue anything before you even think of the word wisdom, courage, or discipline, man, you better like just kill the pride, kill the ego, and start listening a lot more when you're speaking. And like, that's the advice I'd
100%.
probably give myself is, dude, just shut up and just listen and do hard things.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I would agree with
but
that.
yeah,
I'd probably have to tell myself that as well. So
but I probably wouldn't listen, at that time.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
it
I
is.
probably already knew. I knew better.
Yeah, I would say I know that. But yeah, man, I'm just excited to see where this is going to go for you, man. I think it's going in a positive direction. I think you're you got the recipe, the ingredients, and now it's just a matter of time. I think the time is the only thing you can't rush.
Right, 100%. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I tend to agree.
Yeah, I got you. So any last second things, any parts of this that I feel like anything you'd want to share with some people just wanting to learn about. They see a dude going from you know before and after pig. They see 500 days. They see what you're doing. Any kind of advice you'd give some people out there right now that we haven't talked about?
I mean, I think we kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, if you're not doing difficult things, you're really just missing out. You're not experiencing life. You're probably miserable. You're probably fat and out of shape, and that's probably partially why you're miserable. And if literally, if you can just do something difficult that you do not want to do, the next day when you try to go do something else difficult that you do not want to do, it'll be marginally easier. And after 800 days, it won't be anything. Like, just speaking on the run, I've already mentioned I don't even like running. I don't want to do it. But I do it anyway. I mean, yes, I do think about it, but it's really not even a question anymore. I'm just going to do it. So it's hypothetical questions. What if I don't? What if I can wait? But I'm not even looking for an answer. It's just grab your shoes, let's go. So
that's good, man. And I think there are a couple elements that I think strengthen those habits. I think having like accountability partners of people you can text saying, getting your miles in. Some of my best runs, and I've once again, this is one of the videos that I made that I'm not courageous enough to post, but I got finished with a run, and every now and then I'll do these runs, like kind of 3 different runs. I'll do like a gratitude run where I'm not gonna put my AirPods in. All I'm gonna do is think about things I'm grateful for. Dude, there's nothing like if you could like put that in a pill, it would sell phenomenal. Like going on a run, for me it's sunset, for others it might be sunrise, but on a sunset run, dude, and all I'm thinking about is gratitude. I'm thinking about wife, I'm thinking family, I'm thinking job, I'm thinking all these kind of things. Like all I can let myself do is think about things I'm grateful for a 20-minute run, 30-minute run. Dude, that will change my entire trajectory of the week. Like the best thing ever. Yeah. Once again, dude, give that a try. Like once again, I have a video on it, but I'm just eventually gonna hopefully man up and post it. But that's one that I'll do. The second one I'll do is a prayer run. Very simple, similar concept. Of the only thing I'm gonna do, my prayer life, I'm not great at it, man. That's one area I'm trying to grow in. But it's one of those where you're just gonna intentionally, and like typically, if I'm not doing this, I maybe allot myself 30 seconds, a minute here and there, and it's not really deep. It's just is service level stuff. But then I make myself do a 20, 30-minute run, no AirPod, and that is all I'm doing. Life changer. And then last one is I call it like an encouragement run. And I've probably sent you a couple texts on this. I don't know if I have or not, but like, all I do is I'll get my phone on Siri or like start talking to Siri. I'm like, hey, text so-and-so. Dude, I hope you're getting after today. Have a great one. Love you, bro.
Let's go.
So cool. All you do is encourage. Like that's all you let yourself do. Your wife, friends, just reach out to people you haven't reached out in a long time. Just say, hey, dude, I hope you're doing great. Keep killing it. I'm telling you, life-changing runs. Like I'd love to see your reaction on that. If you want to make some videos on that, I want to see what you think about those.
I might have to try those. That's pretty good. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Those have been my best runs.
I normally actually don't run with headphones. I'm
really.
I will run with headphones every now and then. Like if I'm running like 6+ miles, I'll probably have headphones on. But
I got you.
Other than that, I really actually don't. I do it because I do it every day. It's just it's another thing I have to worry about. So
I got you. Just frictionless. Just get out and go.
Exactly. Try to eliminate the friction. So. But yeah, no. So I mean, that's kind of right up my alley. That's some really good like direction, I guess. That's some bumpers that I can use.
There you go. Well, let me seriously. I mean, obviously, I'll text you about it. But like, if you I'm curious on your thoughts on that because that is, I'm telling you, that'll turn a battery week around. Better than anything. And I think it's Tony. There's a couple things where I don't know if you know Tony Robbins at all. He's a public speaker. He got really, I think he's like billionaire now, but he got really famous kind of probably 90s, early 2000s. Right. But he talks about you associate things with pain and pleasure. So like if you associate like certain things like working out in the gym with like stuff that you don't like to do. I think about me being in high school, being super skinny and getting made fun of. Like I hated the weight room, but until I associated with, until I kind of like associated with, okay, that's my time to kind of listen to some good music. Maybe meditate a little bit, get a lift, kind of finish the day off with a good feeling. Like you start associating pleasure with things you want to do and pain with the things you don't want to. So like comfort, for a while, it was probably something you thought like, pleasure with. Like I'm just going to sit down, chill, kill the day, decompress. And all of a sudden it's, 11, 12, 1 o'clock. And so now you would look at it like, oh God, I couldn't imagine going back to that because there's a pain where you're like, oh man, that would hurt me because that would kill my streak and this and that. So that's something I've thought about during this run. And another thing he says, like, you can't be miserable and grateful at the same time. Like your brain cannot handle both of those. So when I do the gratitude runs, when I do the encouragement runs, when you're more focused on yourself, you'll think
I like
about your
that.
depravity. When you focus on others, like it's more naturally encouraging. So that those scientifically, it all works out. He can explain it better than I can, but 100%
No, that
changed a
makes
lot from
perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. When
Yeah,
you said you can't be miserable and have gratitude, that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, you're so
yeah.
right. So
But
I'm gonna have to give that a try. Yeah.
all right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, okay. So we got August 13th, 2027. We're
Right
jumping
on.
into
We'll
this.
set our
Okay.
calendars. Yeah.
Pencil
Yeah.
that in.
One
All
year
right.
from now.
Yeah.
Sounds
But
good,
anyways,
brother.
no, we'll check in more than that, obviously. But dude, super proud of you and what you're doing. Like it's encouraging me. I can't, I'm following you along. I'm telling people about your channel and stuff. And then, I hope to, at that point be maybe 370, whatever days or whatever I might be at. Maybe we'll check in and maybe I'll be a complete failure. Who knows? But I'm
No,
gonna try
heck no, dude.
to.
No, heck no. No, I appreciate you, man. And no, seriously, I couldn't have done it without you in particular, but a lot of people like when you text me back that day and gave me some advice and offered me a book, you didn't have to do that. You could have just we weren't really that close at that point, and you could have
Yeah.
just gave me the bare minimum, but you didn't. You really actually sent a really thoughtful response, and I couldn't have done it without you, man. So uh, I appreciate you and everything you're doing. I watch all your podcasts, and I learn something every single time. I'll see the video, and I'll think, what can I learn from this? And then by the end of the video, I've learned like 10 things. And
Like
so
how not to shoot a podcast, how a gimbal's gonna fall, how the mic goes out. You probably learned that kind of stuff for sure.
no, definitely not. I
But
did see
I
your
got you.
gimbal
I got you.
falling a couple of times. It was actually kind of funny, but
Yeah.
no, you really do give some good advice, man. So I appreciate what you're doing as well.
All right. Well, good deal, man. Hopefully we'll check in soon and we'll maybe get on the podcast, maybe get a workout in or something. You can kind of show me how to do those things that you've been doing. So
Sounds good,
but
brother.
all right, man. We'll check in another time, guys. Thank you for watching. Posting every week, every Monday. Are you posting fitness? Are you posting every day on your channel? Like, tell me a little bit more about that before we get off, and then we'll get off here.
So I have TikTok and I have YouTube. That's my only places that I'm posting right now. Haven't really announced to my like people that I know that I'm posting yet.
My bad.
So
I
no,
can cut this
you're
out.
okay.
I
No,
can.
no, 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 no. It's cool.
Okay.
I really don't care. I really don't care.
I got you. Well, it's all you should,
I
man.
mean,
You need to. It's good
they're
stuff.
gonna find out. I don't really care at this point, but I started there because I didn't really want them to know. So
My
no,
bad, man.
no,
I
no,
doubt they
no.
follow this. So
I'm telling you right now, I do not care at this
okay.
point. Like I'm just saying that's when I started. So by all means, check me out. TikTok, the Wraith BG, and then YouTube,
Okay.
the Wraith BG.
The
Same
Wraith
thing. So,
BG. I got you. It was
yeah,
probably better than the
like
gamer tag you had a little while ago. But last thing, I was gonna say, like, dude, I just a thought on a tagline. I thought about this and I saw your name. It showed your name at the bottom, Bridges. I'm like, dude, building bridges would be a cool tagline for you
hey, yeah, there you
because you're
go.
kind of bodybuilding. Your name is Bridges. You're building connections with people. Just a
Very
thought.
true.
I'm gonna throw it out there. You know.
Right on. I
Well,
think of
all right,
myself
man.
as a ring wraith. So
Okay, I like it.
yeah,
Let's go.
relentless pursuit. So that's why.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I appreciate you getting on here. It helps me out and stuff, and I just motivating, encouraging. Keep rolling, dude. I can't wait to see where you go with this.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. See ya.